And in a year, tens of thousands of calls come into the hotline. They might be a neighbor describing seeing a child out in an alleyway at 2 or 3 in the morning, unsupervised. A relative who has heard a child screaming and crying, being beaten. Somebody finding a baby in a Nordstrom's bag on their front lawn. Very compelling kinds of calls describing abuse or neglect to children. We're dealing with about 7,000 children who have done nothing wrong. They haven't hurt anybody, committed any offense, but no one has taken care of them in the way that they should.
The worst day of my life is when my brothers got into some trouble, and at that point I knew I was in some trouble, knowing that my mother was using drugs at the time and she was abusive. So
I was given away when I was 9. Just given away, and I found out a year later that my mom burned the house down with my baby sister in there, our newborn, and my brother, and the babies died.
Probably when I was 7, and I was taken away from my mother, and this happened several months after my father had been murdered.
I think when the cops came to school to come pick me up, and I had to tell them what was going on at home, I kind of always blamed myself for that moment.
It wasn't my fault that I was in the system, so I shouldn't beat myself down for something that I didn't do.
A really, really common misconception is that foster kids are delinquents and it's their fault that they're in the foster system.
I've been to about 23 different foster homes and group homes in the last 6 years alone.
When you move into a different environment, whether it be foster home, group home, whatever, it's hard.
With group homes, it was like I walk in and there's this completely different atmosphere. You don't know who the people are, you don't know what the rules are, you don't know anything. And it's like being born every day, again and again and again.
And all the people that you become attached to, all the friends you've made, all the acquaintances and everything is just gone.
There was a lot of crying at night from myself and from other people. You were trying to go to sleep and you could hear it.
when it comes to drugs, a lot of kids in the system, they would tell you that they've done it because they said that the pain goes away. It's a pain stopper.
It's the one thing that always gets me about the system is I'm always paying for other people's mistakes.
They just really forget, that you are a child. They forget to ask you what it is that you want, what it is that you need. Not unless you had someone like my CASA who was my voice, so went into the courtroom and advocated for me. That was the only way that things got done.
CASA is an acronym for Court-Appointed Special Advocate, and the legal side of their duties are basically figuring out our needs and what we want, and then taking that to court.
The attorneys representing children have over 300 children on their caseloads. The judges hearing dependency cases, there are 7 in the county, and their caseloads by children are over 900 children each. The social workers have quite a few as well. So the CASA is the only one that has one child, one sibling group, maybe a couple of children.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kristen Morona, and I'm a staff member at Voices for Children, and I'm here with the Real Word panel this evening.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Syra. I'm 18 years old. I was in the system for about 2 years, and I had a CASA for almost 1 year.
My name is Joseph. I am 16 years old, and I've been in the system for just about 16 years.
The CASA has one child, and the CASA knows the child very well. And the CASA represents to the court a different view of the whole child.
Just things that were not being done, like going to the doctors, making a dentist appointment. I mean, she made sure that those things got done.
You might be hearing 20, 25 cases in the course of a morning. The CASA reports have a lot of detail in them that you're not being told by anyone else because of the volume of what they're doing.
CASAs do make a difference because it makes you feel like someone does care about you, that they're not getting paid and they just come and see you because they want to get to know you and want to help you succeed.
You feel more comfortable that your orders are going to be really what's best and what's needed. Sometimes the issues are really difficult. The child's embarrassed, the child might not have behaved well, and the CASA still likes the child, still advocates for the child.
I had several behavioral difficulties. I just didn't want to listen to anyone. I didn't want to trust anyone until my CASA came along. And I didn't want to trust my CASA. And once I finally accepted the fact that he wanted to help me, everything got better.
The CASA does things daily and over the course of time that really build up the child's ego, make the child feel confident. You see smiles between the CASA and the child. The children that don't get adopted or don't return home, we're raising them, and we want them to be successful when they leave the system, and certainly able to compete with children that are raised in our own homes. So they need to have the same childhood experiences that everyone else has.
Foster kids are special people. I believe that we can really succeed despite all of our obstacles. I believe that all we need is just a little bit of caring, care, love, push.
I want to be a pastry chef, and that's those times when I'm really down and I just want to quit. It's just like I think about the fact that no one in my family succeeded, and I'm doing something not only that I'm going to succeed in, but that I love doing.
Right now, the most important thing is school. I really, really want a good education, so I'm trying really hard in school to get my grades up.
I'm in college, and I have a goal for my life.
I want to succeed. I want to have a life. I want to have a career in what I like to do.
I'm going to stay in the Marines for my term, whatever I sign up for, and then go to college, hopefully become a massage therapist.
And I try really hard to make good choices, knowing that bad choices can only put me into some trouble.
Kids fail because maybe they don't have anywhere to turn, or they might not have a CASA that can listen to them.
These kids have done nothing wrong. They're entitled to a normal childhood, and the CASAs help them have that.
I'm not that big of a person that I could have done this all on my own, and if it wasn't for her, I would have nothing. I would be a delinquent.
I think that because of the work that our CASAs have done, I mean, we're here today. And, you know, they did show us a different way. They show us that things, you know, that things are possible.
Don't give up, because that's all people ever do in our life, whether it's intentional or not. Our parents have given up on us.
If you had your own kid, or if you had a cousin or, you know, a niece going through our situation, would you just let them go? Would you just let them suffer and go through the system all alone?